The gravy boat made its third pass around the table before my sister finally said what she had been building toward all evening. My name is Isla. I am 32 years old, and I have learned that Christmas dinners in my parents' house in Columbus are never really about the food. We were having pot roast. My mother had been cooking since 10 in the morning, and the whole house smelled like rosemary and butter, which used to be my favorite smell in the world. It still would be, maybe, if I did not associate it with the particular kind of dread that settles in my chest every time I pull into that driveway on a holiday. My daughter Lily was sitting next to me. She was 9, and she had worn her favorite red sweater, the one with the little reindeer on the pocket. She had been quiet since we arrived. Not shy quiet, not tired quiet. The kind of quiet that children learn when they have figured out that a room is not safe for them. My sister Melissa reached across the table for the rolls. She was 37. She had good hair and expensive taste and the kind of confidence that comes from, never once, having to doubt whether the people around the table were glad she showed up. Her husband Brandon was beside her, laughing too loud at something, my father said. My father was laughing back. The twins, Melissa's boys, were at the kids' end of the table. They were 10 and loud and took up space the way kids do when the world has never told them not to. Lily was watching them. She had that look she sometimes gets, where she is trying to figure out if she is allowed to laugh yet. That is when Melissa set down the bread basket and looked at my daughter. "You know," she said, loud enough for the whole table, "I was talking to Lily's teacher at that fall festival back in September." She smiled. It was the kind of smile that makes the hair on your arms stand up. "Miss Patterson. Sweet woman." She mentioned that Lily has been having some trouble connecting with the other kids. Said she tends to keep to herself. Melissa tilted her head. "I wonder sometimes, Isla, whether kids from broken homes just have a harder time. It is nobody's fault, really. They absorb the instability. You know what I mean?" The table went quiet the way rooms do when everyone hears something they know is wrong, but nobody wants to be the one who says so first. I looked at my mother. She picked up her fork. I looked at my father. He reached for more pot roast. I looked at Lily. Her face had gone very still. She was staring at her plate. Her hand was in her lap and she was making a small fist around the fabric of her sweater. I had been divorced for 2 years. Lily's father had left when Lily was 7. It was not dramatic. He just decided, one day in February, that he wanted a different life. He moved to Denver. He called Lily on birthdays and sometimes on random Tuesdays, and that was about the shape of it. I did not hate him. I had moved past that. But the departure left a particular kind of wound, the kind that other people feel entitled to press on, as if your pain is something they can use to locate themselves in relation to you. And for 2 years, my family had been pressing on it. I want to tell you that I stood up the first time they did it. I want to say I drew a line in October, or the Christmas before last, or that Easter when Melissa told Lily that children with involved fathers test better in school. I did not. I smiled. I said, "Thank you for the concern," and I changed the subject, and I drove home with a knot between my shoulder blades, and spent Sunday night staring at the ceiling. I kept going back because of Lily. She loved her cousins. She thought the twins were the funniest people alive. She would spend half the drive to my parents' house talking about what game she was going to suggest, what movie she wanted to show them, whether they had seen the TikTok with the dog that sorted laundry. When I watched her with them, she was fully herself, loud and bright and unself-conscious. I did not want to take that from her. I had already, through no intention of my own, taken so much from her when her father left. I was not going to take her cousins too. But I also did something the second year that I have not told anyone. I noticed that Melissa's name kept coming up on certain accounts. I work as a senior financial analyst at a consulting firm downtown. I have been doing it for 8 years. I am good at it. I am good with numbers the way some people are good with languages, the way the patterns make immediate sense, the way the logic underneath everything feels like a language I already speak fluently. I manage portfolios for mid-sized businesses. I review risk assessments. I catch things other people miss. So when my mother mentioned, offhandedly, that Melissa had been a little stressed about money, I listened. And then, because I am who I am, I paid attention. And then, because I love my nephews and I did not want them to wake up one Christmas with nothing under the tree, I started making some quiet transfers, minimum payments on 2 of Melissa's store cards, $600 a month for 6 months. I did not tell Melissa. I did not tell anyone. I did it the way you do something you know is right, but that you also know the other person does not deserve, which is quietly and without expectation. I was waiting to see if she would be kind. Just once, just one moment where she treated Lily and me like we were people she actually loved rather than evidence of a cautionary tale. She was narrating for everyone else's benefit. She was not kind. So here we were, Christmas Eve, pot roast, red sweater with the reindeer on the pocket, and my sister telling the table that my daughter's difficulty connecting with other children was a symptom of coming from a broken home. I put my napkin on the table, carefully, the way you set something down when your hands are very steady and you want them to know it. "Excuse me," I said. "Oh, don't be sensitive," Melissa said, reaching for her wine. "I'm not criticizing, I'm being realistic. These are documented things, Isla. Development research. I read an article." "I'll be right back," I said. I walked down the hall to where I had put my bag, my work bag, the one I carry everywhere because I am the kind of person who carries their work everywhere, which my sister has always found slightly embarrassing, as if ambition is a personality flaw. Inside the bag was my tablet. I had put some documents on it 3 days ago. I had not planned to use them tonight. I had planned to talk to my father privately, after dinner, about something related to Melissa that I thought he should know. But plans are made before dinners like this one, and dinners like this one have a way of changing them. I could hear Melissa in the dining room. She was saying something about developmental psychology. She was saying it in the voice she uses when she wants to sound like she is worried about you, which is the same voice she uses when she wants to make sure everyone at the table understands that she is the smart one. I picked up the tablet. I walked back. They expected me to look rattled. My mother had that particular arrangement of her face she makes when she is preparing to smooth something over. My father was refilling his water glass. Melissa was gesturing with her wine. I walked to the head of the table. I did not sit down. "I want to show you something," I said. Melissa rolled her eyes. "Isla, come on, it's Christmas." "Open this," I said. I put the tablet down in front of her. She looked at it the way people look at things they are not sure they want to touch. Then she picked it up, because Melissa has never been able to resist knowing something. She read for maybe 4 seconds. And then her face changed. It was remarkable to watch. The color went out of it so fast it was like watching a window go dark. She looked at Brandon. Something passed between them. Something fast and frightened. "What is this?" she said. It did not come out like a question. "Read it out loud," I said, "or I will." She did not read it out loud. "Then I will," I said. I looked at my parents. Brandon's pharmaceutical sales license was suspended in September. He had a DUI in August. 3rd offense. His company let him go 6 weeks after that. I watched my father's forks go still on his plate. They have not had a primary income for 3 months. "That is private," Melissa said. Her voice was very controlled. "That is completely private, and I do not know how you—" "Swipe right," I said. She did not swipe right. I reached across and swiped for her. "That is a credit card statement," I said. 2 cards, both maxed. Combined balance of just under $24,000. The accounts have been accruing interest since August because only minimum payments have been going through. I paused. Someone has been making those minimum payments. $600 a month for 6 months. Would you like to know who? My mother had both hands flat on the table. She was looking at Melissa. My father had not moved. "It was me," I said. The silence that followed was a different kind of silence than the one before. It had weight to it. "You," my mother said. "Me," I said. "Because of the twins. Because I did not want Jake and Kobe to come downstairs on Christmas morning and find nothing there, or worse, find out through something overheard that the life they thought they had was built on debt. I did it for them, not for Melissa, not for Brandon." Melissa was gripping the tablet. Her knuckles were white. "You had no right," she whispered. "You were going through our accounts, you were." "I did not go through your accounts," I said. "I have a colleague who processes balance transfers. Your name came through on a flagged account 6 months ago. I connected the dots the same way I connect every set of dots that comes across my desks." I kept my voice level. "I am a financial analyst, Melissa. This is what I do." "You work at a bank," my father said, slowly, like he was trying to remember something. "I work for a consulting firm," I said. I have for 4 years. Before that, yes, I worked at a regional bank, but I was not a teller. I was an analyst then, too. I looked at him. You would know this if you had asked. He had not asked. Neither had my mother. In 2 years of Sunday dinners and holiday meals and birthday phone calls, neither of them had ever asked what I actually did at work. They had asked Melissa about Brandon's sales numbers. They had asked whether the Twins Club soccer team had made regionals. They had never once asked me what my day looked like, what I was working on, whether the promotion I got 18 months ago had changed anything for me. Why didn't you tell us? My mother asked. Her voice was smaller than usual. About your job, about what you do. I thought about the specific evening I wanted to tell them. It was a Sunday, about 14 months ago, in September. I had gotten a significant raise and a new title. I had brought a bottle of Prosecco. I had been so pleased with myself. The specific clean pride of having worked very hard toward something and then achieved it, that I practically bounced through the front door. Melissa had started talking about her bathroom renovation before I got my coat off. She talked about the tile choices for 45 minutes. By the time she finished, everyone was on dessert and I had put the Prosecco back in my bag. I drove home with it on the passenger seat. I opened it alone that night, standing at my kitchen counter, and I decided that I would stop offering things to rooms that were not interested in receiving them. I tried, I said. Once it didn't land. I looked at my mother. You didn't ask again. My father looked at his plate. He was doing the thing he does when he knows something is true that he does not want to accept, where he goes very still and breathes through his nose. How much do they owe? He said. Total right now. With the current interest rate on both cards, the balance is approximately $23,800, I said. There is also a car lease that is 60 days behind. I looked at Brandon. He had not said a word in several minutes. He was the color of the tablecloth. My calculations suggest they have about 3 weeks before the credit bureau flags them, and the lease company initiates repossession. Brandon made a sound, just a sound. Melissa turned to me. The performance was gone. What was left underneath it was a person I recognized faintly from a very long time ago, before she decided that being better than me was a full-time job. She looked scared. She looked like someone who had been standing on ice that she thought was solid and had just now heard it crack. Isla, she said, please, I know that She stopped. She started again. I know things have been hard between us. But you have to understand I was trying to protect the boys. We did not want anyone to know. We were going to fix it. Brandon is interviewing. We have a plan. She reached across the table toward me. You're my sister. You can help us. You know you can. I looked at her hand. Her nails were perfect. She had gotten them done recently, the kind of manicure with the little painted design on the ring fingernail. I thought about how much that cost. I thought about the $600 a month I had been sending into her accounts. I thought about Lily's hand in her lap, making a small fist around the reindeer sweater. I could help you, I said. Financially, yes. What you owe is not an unreachable number for me. Melissa's face opened. I watched the relief move across it like weather. But I am not going to, I said. The relief closed. Isla. My daughter is 9 years old, I said. She came here tonight in her favorite sweater because she loves Christmas Eve at this house. She loves the way it smells. She loves her cousins. She was happy in the car on the way over. She was singing. I looked at Lily. She was watching me, very still, her eyes wide. You told a table full of people that my daughter has difficulty connecting because of instability in her home. You used the word broken. You cited a research article you read somewhere to explain why my child is who she is. I let that sit for a moment. You did it in front of her, Melissa. She is right there. Melissa opened her mouth. She closed it. My daughter is not broken, I said. She is the most whole person in this room. She packs an extra granola bar in her school bag in case a friend forgets their snack. She reads to the cat when she thinks no one is watching. She cried for 40 minutes last spring when we found a dead bird in the backyard because she said it did not deserve to be alone. My voice stayed steady. I was proud of it for staying steady. She has one parent at home instead of two. That is a fact about her life, not a verdict about her character. And I will not sit at this table and let you use it as one. Melissa looked at our mother. Our mother was looking at Lily. There was something in her face I had not seen before. I did not know if it was shame or just the recognition of it in someone else. Mom, Melissa said. My mother did not come to her rescue. The payments, I said. I called the card companies this afternoon. I reversed the last 2 transfers. The accounts will reflect that by morning. I picked up my tablet. I put it back in my bag. I know what that means for you. I know it triggers the interest calculation back to the original delinquency date. I am a financial analyst, know exactly what it means. I put the bag on my shoulder. I am not doing it to punish you. I am doing it because my daughter watched me hand you a lifeline tonight. And if I keep holding it, she will learn that the people who love her can be treated any way someone pleases and still be counted on to save them. I love her too much to teach her that. You'll regret this, Brandon said. It was the first thing he had said in a long time. His voice had a tight, thin quality like a wire being pulled. I don't think I will, I said. I turned to Lily. She stood up immediately. She didn't look around the table. She just came and stood next to me, close enough that her shoulder touched my arm, and I felt the specific weight of her leaning into me just slightly, the way she does when she wants me to know she is with me without making a thing of it. We're going to head out, I said to the room. Isla. My father stood up. He looked old in a way he had not looked old before tonight, or maybe I had just not been paying attention. If you leave now. I know, I said. I had heard this threat my whole life in various configurations. Do what we want, or we will make leaving cost you something. I had believed it for 32 years. I understand. I walked to the hallway. I got our coats. I helped Lily with her zipper because it sticks near the bottom and she gets frustrated with it. I called goodbye into the house without going back to the dining room, and I opened the front door and we stepped out into the December night. It was cold, the kind of cold that makes the air sharp and clean and easy to breathe. There were lights on all the houses on the street, colored ones, white ones. Someone down the block had done the whole roofline in blue, and it looked like something out of a movie. Lizzie stopped on the front step and looked at them. Mom, she said. Yeah, bug. That was scary. She said it the way kids say things that are true without softening it, but also really good. I laughed. It came out surprised, which was the right way to laugh. Yeah? You were really calm, she said, like your voice didn't even shake. My hands were shaking, I said, inside my pockets, you just couldn't see. She thought about this. That still counts, she decided. We walked to the car. My car was a 2019 Hyundai Tucson in a color the dealer had called graphite, but which was basically dark gray. It had 61,000 miles on it and a small dent on the rear bumper from a parking garage in Cincinnati. And it was genuinely my favorite thing I owned because it had never once let me down. It was parked next to my brother-in-law's car, a leased Audi that was now 60 days behind on payments, and the comparison did not escape me. We got in. I turned the heat on. Lily pulled her seatbelt across and clicked it, and then sat for a second looking out the windshield at the house. Are we going back, she asked, like ever. I thought about it honestly, the way she deserved. I don't know yet, I said. Not for a while, maybe not the same way we've been going back. She nodded slowly. Okay, she said, not upset, just processing. Does that bother you? I asked. The cousins, I mean. She was quiet for a moment, then she said, I always kind of felt like I had to earn it there. Being fun enough, being the right kind of kid. She looked at her hands. It gets tired. I did not cry. I wanted to. But I did not because she was watching me and I wanted her to see what it looked like, to hold something hard without folding under it. Yeah, I said, it does get tired. I backed out of the driveway. I did not look at the house. I had said what I had to say inside it. I did not need the last word through a windshield. We drove for a few minutes in quiet. Then Lily said, Can we get hot chocolate, like from the place with the big marshmallows? We absolutely can, I said. And can we drive around and look at lights first? We can do whatever you want tonight. She turned the radio on. A Christmas song came on, one of the old ones, and she sang along with the parts she knew and hummed through the ones she did not, and the lights of Columbus went past us in the dark, red and gold and white. And for the first time in 2 years, I did not feel the particular dread of the drive home from my parents' house. I felt instead the specific lightness that comes from having stopped pretending. We found the hot chocolate place 20 minutes later. They were still open, barely. A woman wiping down tables near the back who waved us in anyway. Lily got the one with the giant marshmallows like she wanted. I got plain with whipped cream. We sat at a small table by the window and watched the street outside. Mom, Lily said, wrapping both hands around her cup. Aunt Melissa said kids from broken homes have trouble connecting. She said it straight, the way she says most things. No drama, just the fact of it. She did, I said. But I have friends, Lily said. Like actual friends. Priya and me talk every day. And I sat with the new girl at lunch for 2 weeks until she wasn't new anymore. I know, I said. So that thing she said wasn't about me, Lily said. It was about her. I looked at my daughter across the small table, in the coffee shop light, with marshmallows dissolving into her hot chocolate. And I thought, this child is going to be fine. She was always going to be fine. The only thing that was ever really threatening her was the slow drip of being told, in rooms that were supposed to be safe, that she was not enough. It was about her, I agreed. Lily nodded, satisfied. She took a long drink. She got whipped cream on the tip of her nose and didn't notice, and I let it stay there for a moment because she looked so perfectly, completely herself that I did not want to interrupt it. We drove home around 9. Our apartment was on the 4th floor of a building in a quiet neighborhood. Not fancy. Not the kind of place with a lobby chandelier or a doorman, but clean and warm in ours. I had bought it outright 18 months ago. I had not told my family. I had not told Melissa I owned it, let alone that I had paid cash for it. As far as they knew, I was renting, barely managing, probably 1 bad month away from asking for help. I had let them believe that. I had let them believe it because I wanted to know what they would do with it. Whether they would be kind to me without a reason. Whether they could love me when they thought I had nothing to offer. The answer, over 2 years, and 100 small moments of cruelty, had been clear. We took the elevator up. Lily was half asleep on her feet by then, still in her red sweater, leaning against the elevator wall. I unlocked our door, and she went straight for the couch and collapsed into it. Bed, I said. 5 minutes, she said. 5 minutes, I agreed, because it was Christmas Eve, and I had fought enough battles for 1 night. I went to the kitchen and poured a glass of water and stood at the window, looking at the street below. I thought about Melissa's kitchen right now. I thought about the conversation she and Brandon were having, the kind that had probably started before my car left the driveway. I thought about the 2 maxed credit cards and the car 60 days behind, and the way Brandon had not been able to look at anyone by the end of the evening. I felt briefly guilty. The way you feel guilty about a splinter you have finally pulled out. It hurts in the moment, but the hurt is the ending of something, not the beginning. I was not punishing Melissa. I had been clear about that, and I meant it. I was just stopping. I was stopping the specific thing I had been doing, which was holding her life together while she used mine as a mirror to make herself look better in. She would find a way forward. People do. Would call our parents, and they would panic, and then they would problem solve, and maybe in the problems something more honest would happen between them than had happened in a long time. Or it would not, and that was not mine to fix. Lily had fallen asleep on the couch, which I had predicted. I got the blanket from the hall closet and covered her up. She had a small smile at the corner of her mouth, the expression she gets in deep sleep, as if whatever she is dreaming about is something gentle. I turned off the kitchen light. I walked to the front door and checked the deadbolt. The lock had a satisfying click to it, solid and final. My landlord, the previous one, before I bought the place, had installed a good one, and I had kept it. Every night for 4 years I had locked this door, and the sound of it had made me feel, briefly, like the world was smaller and more manageable than it had seemed during the day. Tonight it meant something additional. Tonight it was not just keeping the cold out. I stood in the dark hallway for a moment. I was not locking the world away. I was not locking my family out, not exactly, not forever. I was locking something in. The quackers out of this apartment, the sound of Lily breathing evenly on the couch, the clean fact of a life I had built by myself, on purpose, for the 2 of us. I walked to the window. The street below was empty and still. Someone 3 blocks down had strung lights along a fire escape, blinking slowly in the cold, and I stood there watching them blink for a long time. I felt lighter than I had in 2 years. Not happy, exactly. Not triumphant, just clean. Like I had been carrying something for a very long time, and I had finally on a Christmas Eve in Columbus set it down in the right place and walked away without it. I went to bed. I did not lie awake. I slept better than I had in months, in the apartment that was mine, in the life I had built, down the hall from my daughter who was not broken and had never been and would not be.